this video, we'll be comparing the iPhone 12 Pro, and this is the iPhone 12. These two are really similar phones, and then the question comes, which one is for me? And I wanna help you guys make that decision if and when you're gonna pick up one of these two. All right, so let's get into it. Right on the top, there are about 4 different categories or differences between these two devices, and that is price and configurations, build and design, cameras, and battery life. All pretty standard and all really big features on a lot of phone models. And those are the 4 differences that separate these two phones and put them on different sides of the spectrum. All right, so let's start with price and configurations. If you want to pick up the baseline iPhone 12, it's going to be $799, and the iPhone 12 Pro baseline is going to be $999. Now, the good thing about the iPhone 12 Pro is that the baseline starts at 128 gigabytes of storage, while the iPhone 12 has half that at 64 gigabytes. There's no micro SD card slot, as there's never been on an iPhone before, and so you can't really change your storage option into using the device. You're stuck with either 64 gigabytes or even up to 512 gigabytes on the iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max. The iPhone 12 still starts at 64 gigabytes, and so you're gonna wanna pay the extra $500 to get up to $849 and get 128 gigabytes on your device, because that's gonna leave you way better and with way better storage options on your phone, and that's gonna leave the headache of having to get more iCloud storage or whatever later on, so it's fully worth it. And then also in configurations is the color choices between these two guys. On the iPhone 12 Pro side, there are 4 different colors you can choose from. This all new Pacific Blue color, Graphite, basically rebranded from Space Gray, Silver, and then Gold. On the iPhone 12 side, however, there's an extra color in there. So you have blue, red, green, white, and black. And so those are some awesome, really punchy color options. And so the iPhone 12 Pro is more classy, sort of, but the iPhone 12 definitely has some really statement color options. But most people are gonna wanna go with the toned down white or black. Right here I have the black model, and I have the iPhone 12 Pro in Pacific Blue as well. So they're really nice. Okay, so these two phones are also built a bit differently. They're the exact same size phone, and so cases that would work with one of them also work with the other, which is pretty great. Unless you're carrying an iPhone 12 Pro and an iPhone 12 on a daily basis, I'm not really exactly sure who that would be good for, but it is a great idea to have 2 phones the same size and then 2 phones completely different sized, and so that's sort of the lineup of the iPhone 12s this year. But the iPhone 12 is made out of glass, as well as the iPhone 12 Pro, also made out of glass. These two phones have really different glass finishes on the back, and so the iPhone 12 Pro has this really nice matte finish, which I really like and I think is way better than the iPhone 12's glossy back, because that gathers so many fingerprints, is super reflective, and yet the iPhone 12 Pro is super classy and super simplified and super toned down. Also on the side of both of these phones is actually a different side rail configuration, and so on this side in the iPhone 12 Pro there is a stainless steel side rail that's not matte or anything, and so it gathers a ton of fingerprints, but you don't really notice and actually feels kind of nice and really grippy around there. I honestly thought that it would be a massive deal. It really isn't. It's not a big deal at all. I have kind of gotten over it, and especially if you have it in a case, you never notice that. However, on the iPhone 12, there's a bit of a better tactic on this side, and that is with the aluminum side rails. Now, the aluminum side rails also mean that this device is a lot lighter than the iPhone 12 Pro, because the iPhone 12 Pro has stainless steel, and stainless steel is naturally heavier than aluminum. The iPhone 12 side rails, on the other hand, gather very minimal fingerprints because they are aluminum. They are actually sort of a fingerprint magnet as well, but you don't really notice the fingerprints as much as you would on the iPhone 12 Pro. And so if you're looking for matte side rails, and that's a value that you'd like in your phone, then definitely go for the iPhone 12. But I believe that the iPhone 12 actually feels cheaper than the iPhone 12 Pro, just because the iPhone 12 Pro has a much more premium build, and that's what you get for $200 more. All right, next up, let's talk about camera. Camera is a really big difference between these two devices, and that's something you see instantly when you pick them up. The iPhone 12 has a camera system of 2 cameras, a wide-angle lens at f1.6 and an ultra-wide-angle lens at f2.4. And so this camera system only has 2 lenses on it, as well as a true depth camera on the front. However, the iPhone 12 Pro has a 3 camera setup, as well as, of course, the true depth camera on the front as well. And on this side, you'll be getting a wide angle lens at f1.6, which is the same wide angle lens on the iPhone 12. You'll be getting an ultra wide angle lens at f2.4 and a telephoto lens at f 2. This is a much better camera system for sure, and you also get capabilities like ProRAW, which I did a whole video about, and that'll be up here if you want to check that out. It's a super awesome feature, and I made a video about that, and so if you guys want to check that out, take a look. It's a super awesome feature if you have an iPhone 12 Pro. I haven't seen differences really between the cameras at all, even though of course that you have more lens switching options on the iPhone 12 Pro, but the cameras and the photos that are produced by them aren't really different in either of those, and it would be hard for me to do a camera comparison between the two because it's the same camera system plus one other lens. In addition, on the iPhone 12 Pro, there is a LiDAR scanner, which is an unnecessary thing, but it's super awesome, and it does really a lot better portrait mode shots, and it also improves your AR experience. So that's pretty cool too. Last up, let's talk about battery life. Battery life between these two devices, even though they are the same size devices, is actually different. And so on the iPhone 12 Pro, you'll be getting over 9 hours of battery life, but on the iPhone 12, you'll be barely cutting 8 hours and 30 minutes. In my testing, that's kind of what happened, and I basically run the devices from 100% all the way down to 0%, and so you know what, it's not really a big problem. There are other phones you can get on the market with way better battery life, but these two devices are, you know what, they have good battery life. The iPhone 12 Pro even better, but the iPhone 12 is totally survivable, and if you're a lighter user than I am, which you definitely are, you're definitely going to be great with the iPhone 12. Alright, so in summary, the iPhone 12 Pro just does features better, but I don't know if that's worth the extra $200. For the average consumer, a lot of these features you're not even going to notice. Obviously, you're going to put your phone in a case, and so you're not going to notice the fingerprints or the matte back. The iPhone 12 Pro sure has better battery life, but are you really going to notice that as a light user? I don't really think so. The iPhone 12 Pro has more cameras, but are you going to really notice that as a regular average user? That's the thing, not really. All of these features that the iPhone 12 Pro just does better don't make it worth the extra $200 over the iPhone 12. And you know what, if you really want to splurge and you want to get an iPhone with 128 gigabytes of storage, don't pay $200 extra for features that you're not going to use. Just pay $849 for the iPhone 12. And you'll be happy as a clam. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope it was helpful. If it was, drop a like below, really helps the channel out. Subscribe below if you're not already, and comment below if you have any questions for me, or if you just want to talk. I'm there, let's chat, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.